Dave breathed a sigh of relief as he turned on the washing machine. No one had caught him bringing his wet sheets and clothes to the laundry room, and now no one would know. Still, he was concerned. He hadn't had a bedwetting problem for years until recently. He'd woken up in a puddle of his own urine 3 times in the last week. "Hello, Dave. Doing some early morning laundry here?" a familiar voice called out from behind him. Dave spun around to see Liz, who strode quickly across the room to stand uncomfortably close to him. "Yeah, I guess so. Gotta keep my favorite duds fresh and clean," Dave replied, managing a weak smile. "Oh, any particular reason they were dirty?" Liz said with a grin, getting a bit closer to Dave's face than he would have liked. No, not really." Dave tried to act calm, but he wasn't sure how it came across. Liz's smile quickly turned into a sneer. "Your words stink of deceit and stale human urine." Oh no, she knows. Dave stood there with his mouth agape for longer than he would have liked, unable to come up with a reasonable response. Liz just giggled a bit. "Dave, don't worry. I'm here to help, you know. I'll be back later." And with that, she darted out of the room as quickly as she had come in, leaving a disconcerted Dave behind. "Diapers?" Dave asked incredulously. It was now late in the evening, and Dave had already long since pushed his accident out of his mind. He'd bumped into Liz at various points throughout the day, and she hadn't uttered a word about it either. But just now, she'd called him over to her room and had produced a large plastic package labeled Gooden 1T3S. "Yes, they're designed to keep everything contained," Liz explained excitedly. Apparently, she had spent quite a while that afternoon researching the best products and was quite enthusiastic about the results. No offense, but aren't I a bit big for that?" Dave was hardly thrilled by the idea of wearing diapers to deal with this. "Nope. These are specially sized for adults and they're super absorbent," Liz said with a gleeful cackle. She then reached into the package to pull out a couple to hold up. "And see? I even found ones with fun designs." Dave squinted his eyes in disapproval as he looked at the diapers in Liz's hands. One of them had a cartoon character on the front, and the other was plain white. "I don't really know about this, Liz." "Oh, come on," Liz said with a scowl suddenly materializing on her face. "How about if I wear one first? Then will you try it?" I don't..." Dave started to reply, but then was cut off by Liz shoving the cartoon character diaper into his hand and running off to the bathroom with the plain one. She returned giggling a minute later, wearing nothing but the plain diaper on her lower half. "See, Dave? It isn't so bad. Just try it." It took a bit more coaxing, but eventually, Dave gave in and retreated to Liz's bathroom. After locking the door, he reluctantly stripped off his pants and boxers and pulled on the diaper. It wasn't too bulky, but feeling the padding around his crotch was strange nonetheless. The diaper itself was surprisingly comfortable, but the mental associations were a bit unpleasant. With a defeated sigh, Dave pulled his pants back on. That night, Dave paced back and forth, still unsure about the diaper he was wearing. After he'd put it on and flashed it to Liz to confirm that he was actually wearing it, the two of them had gone on to draw some comics. Liz didn't bring up the subject again, though she made sure to be conspicuous about the fact that she was wearing her own diaper the entire time. It was a clever tactic by Liz, really. Dave wouldn't dare take off his diaper if Liz was still wearing one. And by the time Dave left her room and headed back to his own, he had been sitting around for long enough to have gotten used to it. He had thought about taking it off a couple of times while he had been sitting around during the past few hours but hadn't actually done so. But now he was about to go to sleep, and it was time for his final decision. Was he really going to wear this to bed and suffer the indignity of possibly waking up in a wet diaper? Well, if he was going to wake up wet, it was going to happen whether he was wearing a diaper or not. And Liz was right. This would certainly be less of a mess to deal with. Dave sighed and flopped down onto his bed and reached to pull the covers over him. What the heck, he'd give it a try. If he'd worn this for the last 4 or 5 hours of being awake, he could wear it while he was asleep too. Oh no, not again. Dave felt a cold wetness against his crotch and jolted from a half-asleep state to being fully awake. He instinctively reached down to feel how big of a mess he'd made, but his sheets and his pajama pants were bone dry. Suddenly, the memories of the previous night came rushing back, and Dave realized he was still wearing the diaper Liz had given him. The padding felt cold and wet against his entire crotch, and sagged a bit when he went to stand up. But upon inspecting his sheets and carefully feeling around his pants, Dave concluded that the diaper had held everything. It was pretty uncomfortable, though, so Dave quickly undid the sides of the diaper and pulled it out from his pants. It looked heavy and waterlogged and gross. What did he do with this now? He was embarrassed for a moment, though on reflection he realized that it was probably easier to get rid of a wet diaper than have to wash his sheets yet again. Still, he felt pretty gross. A hot shower would help with that, so Dave made a beeline to the bathroom, ready to start fresh.